July 14th, and roll call, please.
Yes, Director Coverdale?
Yeah, I wanted to wish you a happy Bastille Day.
Thank you. Are we going to sing the Marseillaise instead of the Pledge of
I think
Allegiance?
we should go ahead.
Okay, well, this is already out of control. I can do the first few lines of it. I still remember.
You remember?
Vice President Glassberg?
Oh, I'm here. And out of control.
Director Reynolds?
Yeah, but I don't know the song.
President Michelson?
Here. Oh, and Englishman won the today's stage of the tour. Yeah, usually they let a Frenchman win on Bastille Day. Pledge of Allegiance,
Wasn't
please.
it the last 2 years that he won?
Yeah, no, Froome crushed him.
Yeah, that guy's amazing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Well, you've been doing some field work with your phone there.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
Terrible. As bad as my kids do. So public comment. Come on. Anybody? Okay. So no public comment. Consent calendar, and whose turn was it to review?
That was Arnie.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. I forgot. And
Yeah,
everything
it's-
looked good.
Good. Okay. Good. Anyone else have any questions or items they'd like to discuss, or can we move them as a whole?
One question.
Okay.
Which, now can I find it? Here it is. I just have one question on the CIP list. And I just wanted to know on the meter change program, where we had a budget of 10,000 and we've spent almost 60,000.
Yes, we decided that it would be a good idea as part of our, consistent with our preparation for more intensive metering if we go deeper into the drought, if we could put some of our high-using commercial customers on monthly billing and AMR. So we picked 60 or so, 60 commercial customers whose bi-monthly use, I forget what our cutoff is, was around 100 units, something like that. And we put them, we installed AMRs and we put them on monthly billing. So eventually, it's our goal to have the whole district on monthly billing. We're making our way through the commercial accounts. We have about 650 commercial accounts. So we're making our way through the commercial accounts and ensuring that at least the highest using commercial accounts are on monthly billing. And we have no accounts that are on monthly billing without AMRs. So.
Okay, thank you.
I had one question too, when it's my
Please.
turn.
Go ahead.
In looking at the budget, excuse me, on the operating expenses, the one item that stood out a lot to me was maintenance general, and I just wondered what is in maintenance general. And I don't need to know this very second unless you do know.
Well, this month we had to clean up our inventory account, and so we had about 100,000 of dollars going to inventory all year long, and so we made an entry to expense the inventory.
Okay, but it wasn't like we were out pulling weeds
No,
somewhere or something
no.
like that?
This happened all year long.
Yeah, okay. Because the number was sort of startling
Yeah.
to me. And so, yeah, thanks. So I move we approve the consent calendar as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay. Go on, please.
Sure. Director Coverdale?
Aye.
Vice President Glassberg?
Aye.
Director Reynolds?
Aye.
President Michelson?
Aye. Great. Thank you. Meetings attended. Director comments. Anyone?
I went to the AWWA meeting in Anaheim and was stunned and overwhelmed by like 9,000 people.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And doing anything?
Oh, God, yeah.
Anything relevant? Anything we can apply
Actually,
here?
something that is good is I was really impressed that the new automated, I've been against automated meter reads.
Are they coming out?
And I was really favorably impressed with
Good. That's
both,
good to hear.
with both the cost came down, the deliverables came down, and the quality of the meters went way up. And I've ordered a couple for me to get as demos, and I'm really impressed. One of the things I really liked was meter reading technology for $3,000, and that's been sold in the past for $40,000 to $50,000 a set, unless you buy a lot and then they'll discount it. and meter pricing with the new automated meters have gotten rippingly competitive. The one thing I didn't like, and I'll just share it with the group, there's a move to merge with the cellular systems and have meters that read through the cellular side tone carrier. The kick in the pants that really bothered me was the pricing went way up, and the warranty is 10 years because it has a cell chip in it, and everybody was quick to say that the phones you don't get, that they're having trouble even getting a 10-year assurance from the cell system that they'll support a cell chip for 10 years because the technology changes so quickly. And I thought, boy, that hurts because you spend more money for the meter and you get half the service life out of it and then you throw it away. So that was an interesting, and I asked a couple of the meter vendors who I'm very close, I know very well, and they said, Glenn, we have to offer it because the competition is offering it. But boy, the business model is not good.
I have a comment about that, actually, if it's okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I've been shopping around because we work in a lot of communities with landscaping where instead of policing people's activity with water, what's happening is people are giving allotments. So you're allotted because you have 3 adults and a half an acre landscape, 40 units, for example, for a month or something like that. And it's really disturbing for most of these people because they're busy and, they're important people, I guess, they're active people. So I've been looking at Badger meters, and I've been looking at the idea of putting a 1-inch meter on the house supply and a 1-inch meter on the landscape supply. And actually, they have a beacon software now, Badger, which, as Glenn is discussing, will report in a 24-hour period your water use to your iPhone. So,
But it has to be through the meter reading network.
yes.
That's the problem. You
correct.
can't do it standalone.
That's correct, and you
Yeah.
pay $5 a month for that,
Yeah.
which is really cheap compared to a penalty or a fine. So today was the first day when I actually got pricing on these things. And what's pretty nice about it is if the homeowner will buy 2 meters, they actually only have to pay 1 software fee. So it looks like, probably for $2,000, $1,500, people could have side-by-side meters and actually understand their water use. So I would love to see somebody develop something that's more intelligent than that
that's-
for residential purposes.
And that's what I found is Comstrop is coming in where the meter's $150 and the website and the data portal is all included.
Oh, cool. Comstrop.
Yeah, it's German, Kumstrop, something like that.
Oh, cool.
And it's specifically to beat Badger at just what they're doing, exactly. that.
And but that's for 1 meter, right?
$150, yeah.
And what size?
That's that was a 3/4 inch.
A 3/4, yeah. Because I was thinking that we probably want to stay large in the meter size.
So these are ultrasonic, so there's no pressure drop. Yeah,
okay.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
But this is a positive, a good side of the drought, that it's driving innovation, it's driving people to actually care about usage. And why can't we have it in real time? I know I get a text every time my kids are about to cross the data threshold, so, why can't we get a text when we're gonna cross the water threshold? So that technology certainly exists.
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Anyone else?
I just comment that I attended the Hetch Hetchy tour with the SFPUC and Bosca, but I know Dave's going to be talking about it, so I just will let it go.
Good. No, that's really important. To kind of, now you understand the water bank. I understand.
You-
Yeah,
Dave understands the water bank. I'm partway there.
good. I do my research in the Sierras in the summertime. So interesting seeing. Hetchy is at 94, so it's actually gone up. And there have been, these tropical storms are hitting the mountains and dropping all kinds of rain. So I can tell you the single track is really nice and sticky up there. It's been raining, and there's been a net gain in the lakes up there, and it's from rain. It's not from snowmelt. So, and there's another system coming It's down in Mexico right now, and it should be dropping more rain on Sunday. So the
Good news.
the reservoir is actually gaining in July, which is pretty unusual. So that is good news. Great, thank you. Item number 6 was actually real encouraging to see that we have 2 low bids coming from within our own community, and low by a significant margin. We're very, very fortunate to have that kind of competitive bidding right here in our backyard. So Dave, want to take it away?
Okay. The city let us know that it will be doing some extensive paving on Ventura and Washington streets in Miramar. That's an area where we have cast iron mains and plastic services, both of which are subject to breakage. We had scheduled in our CIP a replacement of all of the cast iron mains in Miramar, and including these streets, for, I think, starting in 2020. So we'd like to coordinate with the city's paving projects, get in there ahead of them. We save a lot of money on paving by not having to final pave these, and nobody is happy when we have leaks and have to dig up new pavement, especially when the pavement is 6 inches thick, as they plan over there when they reconstruct these streets. When a cast iron main blows up under a 6-inch asphalt street, we end up with a huge paving bill to repair everything. So it would really be to our advantage to coordinate with the city's project, get in there ahead of them. District Engineer Teeter was very responsive in preparing the plans for these. City says it's going to go ahead in September, and so this, by awarding this contract, we'd be able to complete our construction probably by the end of August. Everybody's ready to go. And we got 4 bids, the lowest of which was Andrini Brothers for $396,571. And we recommend that the board authorize executing a contract with Andrini Brothers.
I move we approve it.
I'll second that. Any questions, or if we go straight to vote? John, please.
Yes, Director Coverdale?
Aye.
Vice President Glassberg?
Aye.
Director Reynolds?
Aye.
President Michaelson?
Aye, thank you, and this is, thank you, staff, for getting on board so quickly with the city and paving project and getting ahead of the paving. It's always nice to be in there first, because you don't want to.
And Chris, I might comment that in the past, we've tried very hard to be very sensitive to pave before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
We're here, and the county and/or city.
Yeah.
Please.
So.
Keep lines of communication open, and
Yeah.
clearly they are in this case, as we're doing the right thing. Thanks for acknowledging that. Item B.
Okay, in our budget process, we discussed with the board on a couple of occasions the addition of 2 positions to our staff here, mainly drought-related, to assist us in working with managing water demand. We discussed a meter reading position and a water efficiency specialist. And in our subsequent discussions within the staff, we have upgraded the meter reading position to utility billing specialist. We think we need somebody that's going to be an expert in both meter reading AMRs and our utility billing software, and that's going to take a little higher skill level. So we upgraded that position a bit from what we had discussed before, and this item asks the board to approve the class specifications for these new positions.
No, I think this item fits really well with what you learned. I think the technology is getting there, and hopefully the price is coming down, and the associated software, and and again, this is the drought driving this, so we need to catch up here internally at the staff level. So this makes sense to me.
Couple
David,
questions?
Yeah, please.
Sorry. Dave, in reading the specifications, the only thing I would comment is if we could put the individual through a mini backflow training, so that as they go out and read the meter, they'd be our front line looking for backflow, missing or damaged backflow devices or cross connections. Because one of the real values of having our staff out in the community and on the street is that observation of our infrastructure. And so I feel really strongly that putting a little time and energy into educating them on what they should look for. And I suspect Kathleen would like to know what water systems are broken or spraying, that she could have feedback there. And I feel very strongly that the more our staff are bringing value to the community, that puts an important feedback onto why we have staff out there in touch with the community, and that we're working really hard to help them manage the drought.
We'll address that.
Thanks.
Good. And did you have a
I did
question?
a couple of things. One was, will these, either or both of these individuals be involved in the state mandated reporting? This new reporting that's coming because of the 25% governor's edict? Or who does that?
I do that, and
Oh.
I would continue to do that, although what the water use efficiency specialist does out in the field would be part of the reporting that I do.
So they're collecting data
Yeah,
that
yeah.
will go
So
into the
every
report?
contact we make with a customer, whether it's for leaks or high water usage, the state wants us to be reporting that, so they wouldn't be doing the reporting, I would, but I'd be using what they're doing out in the
Okay.
field.
Yeah, because my understanding was that the addition of these positions into the budget was mainly because of the governor's edict of whenever that was, in April or May, whenever he made that, about the 25%, plus all of the reporting that's going to go with it. Is that accurate?
Yes, I think we enacted these restrictions, but recognized at the time that we didn't have sufficient resources to really enforce them. And what Kathleen mentioned is important. The State Water Resources Control Board has shown a definite inclination to hold water utilities more accountable for enforcement and monitoring. In fact, just yesterday, we got a notice from the state saying they have set up this statewide water waste reporting website. So people in our community can go on the web and report water waste directly to the State Water Resources Control Board. The control board sends us an email. They notify us about it, but, guess what? Then they will have the means of holding us accountable for what we respond to, how long it takes us, how we respond, things like that. And I think that will be an increasing trend in the future that will absolutely require resources. It's I don't know, I wouldn't call it an unfunded mandate, but we're going to have to do it. It is unfunded. Well, we're going to have to fund it, but I don't think there's anybody in our business who believes that even once the drought is over, that these requirements are going to go away. They're not.
That was kind of my next question.
Once the state starts making you report things, they don't ever stop.
So my next question was, do you see a time in the future when the drought is over where we would not need these positions, or do you see these as a permanent addition to the staff?
I think that first of all, defining when the drought is over is challenging, but I think we've recognized that we have to be ready for a future of climate change, more frequent drought, more competition for water supplies. So, we're never going to go back to the water is too cheap to meter and abundant. So I think the staffing needs of the district could change some in normal years, and there could be an opportunity for us to reduce headcount, but it's hard to commit that now. I think we'll keep evaluating the need.
The other concern I have, or thought I have, is as we change meter technology, what I'm seeing is water utilities are using that staff to then fix and repair and update the new technology. And the more we can do that in-house by having a person like this, the cheaper it will be for the water district, because you have to hire a contractor to come in and change meters. You pay a lot of money for that. And so if we had a person who could then carry that on in-house, it's a huge savings.
Okay. And will we be providing a vehicle for the water efficiency specialist?
Yes.
Segway.
So, oh,
And for,
that get them real close to the meters, huh?
I think our budget included 2 vehicles.
Oh, it did, okay.
Yeah.
So that when it talks about
We
under.
talked about the impact on the budget. We have 2 vehicles in there.
Okay. And
Teslas.
So under examples of duties where it says cleaning, fueling, safety inspections of vehicles, you're really talking about the responsibility that every employee has if they're driving a district vehicle.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good questions, I know that's, but,
I
yeah.
haven't looked at my job description to see if that's included. But
I don't know why
Yeah,
that
it
stood
did.
out to me, but it did.
You could use your car, you can continue bicycling.
And I don't think it's in the other one.
Okay, we need a recommendation here?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I move that we approve the class specifications for the utility billing specialist and water efficiency specialist positions.
And I'll second it.
Here, do we need a roll call for this, or?
Let's do.
Okay.
Director Coverdale?
Aye.
Vice President Glassberg?
Aye.
Director Reynolds?
Aye.
President Michelson?
Aye.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, a little salary housekeeping here.
Yes, we learned in the course of a CalPERS audit, which is the first CalPERS audit we've ever had, that we were not complying with a CalPERS rule initiated in 2011 that says our reporting of salaries has to be traceable back to a board-approved salary schedule. We haven't done that before. I think every salary here may be is traceable back to board decisions. The board has approved classifications and salary ranges for every position. The board has approved the adjustments we make to the salaries, whether they're cost of living adjustments or policies that give the general manager discretion to give people step increases within their ranges. So this item shouldn't be taken or interpreted to imply that the salaries we're paying have not been approved by the board. That's not the case. But PERS, when somebody retires, wants to be able to go back and say, okay, we're verifying this reported salary, that it's within the board-approved range. So there's a very specific piece of the public employee, the Pearl Public Employee Retirement Law that specifies exactly what has to be in this retirement schedule that we, or this, I'm sorry, this salary schedule that we approve. So that's why it's here.
So I move that we approve the salary schedule as presented.
I'll second it.
Great. Roll call, please.
Sure. Director Coverdale?
Aye.
Vice President Glassberg?
Aye.
Aye.
Director Reynolds? President Michelson?
Aye, thank you. Okay, preliminary results. How are we doing financially?
Actually, I think it's a good news story.
Oh.
for
Yeah,
us.
no, it ended well.
Yes, so.
No red, I loved it.
Yeah, so we were, even though we were down in our water revenue, $562,000, we actually had an offset with some non-operating revenue. So we ended down $241,000, and then we were down on our expenses by $275,000, so we're pretty much break even with our budget. So.
Wow.
Now, these are preliminary, but right now it's looking at that's pretty good.
Were we projecting a deficit, though, originally, when we first passed the budget in, whenever we did that?
When we first passed the budget, we never projected deficit. We project that will make a certain contribution to CIP and reserves.
Oh, right.
But 3 or 4 months into the year, up to probably mid-year, we were looking at the water revenue shortfall and saying we thought we were going to, we're projecting the water revenue shortfall mid-year was almost 10%. And on that basis, we would have been down $800,000 or $900,000 on the year, and we were talking in those terms, and we started looking at how could we adjust the CIP. But the tax payments that came in, the ERAF, those non-operating revenue upside surprises, along with a little bit better water sales and some advantages in the expense, on the expense side, got us closer. So we ended the year, we actually, you know, our pessimism was a little more than we needed. But it's always nicer to end better than you expected than worse.
Ken, years of experience, what do you?
Well, the question I had was, we were talking about using a rate stabilization fund in the budget, but it looks like we don't need that, is that correct?
Well, we still hit our reserves because our capital spend was higher than the 1.8 million.
Okay, so we're still dipping.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to be clear on that because when you look at the report, it looks a little rosier than it actually is.
Did you say that again?
Well, we spent a little over 2 million in capital. And the plan was 1.8 million.
Oh, okay. So we were a couple hundred over on, okay, I know where that went. All right.
But the rate increase will change all of that, so that we will start net contributing to reserves.
Oh, yeah, it's not a bad picture. I just wanted to
So
be sure.
that was part of the reason for the rate increases, because we have been dipping into reserves, as have all of the other districts that I've spoken to at the Bosca and formally. That's what we're doing right now.
The rate increase refunds, the reserve drawdown.
Yeah,
Was
so
it
this-
$300,000?
Yeah.
400.
400?
Oh, listen,
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for pointing that out,
Yeah, well, I wasn't trying to be negative,
No, but I mean, reserves are, reserves are important, and we need to replenish them, and we made the right move.
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
No, I just think it's great that you have such a good handle on where things are. I mean, that wasn't intended to be critical. I just like to be sure I remember where the money's coming from. Yeah, great, thank you very much. I think it's exciting. I mean, it could be really ugly right now. We could be in ugly territory.
Okay, and that was informational only, so moving on to next item. Things have been moving real fast in the recycled world.
According to the paper.
Yeah, according to the paper, so I think it's time for us to really ramp it up here again, and I'm really encouraged to see that Sam is back on track after a long hiatus of recycling water. So I think it's time for us to ramp it up over on our end. And so I'm working with our general manager. I think we need to put together a recycled water advisory committee. So we can, get our 2 cents involved here. Ken, you would be the most logical one. You have served in that position historically, and I'd like to continue your efforts and your enthusiasm in bringing recycle to the community.
Thank you.
And Arnie, how do you feel about assisting in that?
Sure.
In that. So, with general manager's approval, how's that sound?
So this would be an advisory committee.
Mhm.
And we at one point had a recycled water committee, but I think it was, the members have since left the board. It's been a while since we had one. So it's important to note that this advisory committee, it would replace any prior committee, so just so there's no confusion about that.
Yeah, I'm really enthusiastic, and I think Arnie's going to be a great member of the committee, and truthfully, in watching the SAM minutes and in reading the reports from the members of the SAM committee, I think it's going to go pretty fast. Whether it goes as fast as it's being laid out or not, we'll see. But I'm excited, and I think that it's so appropriate, and it's the time is now, the time's right, and I think it's going to be a great thing for the community if we can actually get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, based on what I'm reading, the aggressive timeline, I think we would have really hit the ground running and, all in. So, Director Coverdale will serve as a representative, and then Glassberg as the alternative, as an alternate for the committee for the future. And then, like our general manager said, we had committees in the past, but this action supersedes all prior committees. So this is the latest committee, all in, and we look forward to working towards the goal of recycled. And I think March, they're aiming for March. Is that correct? March 2016. So let's see if we can get the golf course watered with recycled water.
And one comment, I'd like to be sure that even though it's worded as an alternate, I'd like for both of us to attend.
Yeah, no, that would be
meetings.
my goal too. But it's more of a housekeeping term.
Mhm.
But I would absolutely like to have two directors involved.
Yeah, so I think, does that work? for you?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
So just to clarify, the purpose of the purpose of this advisory committee, the nature of an advisory committee is to address a specific purpose, and this would be to proceed with and further the objectives that the agencies agreed on and the guiding principles for recycled water that we approved, I think it was in January of this year, and that now all of the SAM member agencies and the SAM board itself have approved.
Great. So look forward to you guys reporting back on how it evolves. So look forward to hearing from you guys. And hopefully as soon as next meeting, have something positive to report.
I think they're trying to set up a meeting for the 22nd of this month.
Okay, good.
And it looks like it's a large group, and so it's going to be very complicated.
Great.
but
We'll hear about it in August then.
I'll make sure tomorrow that Clemens, he's the interim general manager for SAM, and I'll make sure that he's got your email and that that you're on that list. And yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Good. Great. Well, good. Thank you for accepting my volunteering you. That's how it works around here. Great. Thank you.
Past practice would mean Flint gets it, since it's not here, so that's how Ken got it.
So this is another item I think we do every year, item F, the appropriations limit. Still never quite understand it, but I think we do it every year.
Oh, yes.
We're just following the constitutional requirement to review our appropriations limit. And the proceeds of taxes we get are so much lower than the limit that it's kind of a no-brainer for us. We have a limit of around 5.4 million, and we get about a little over 600,000 in taxes a year, so we're nowhere close.
And it sure is nice
and
to get that money. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, it's always a nice number for the budget.
It
That I do
adjusts.
know.
We adjust it each year in accordance with the allowed methodology.
Nobody understands this.
Oh, your school, yeah.
Nobody understands it. It was
good.
Some of the lawyers understand it a little bit.
It went along with the Jarvis Prop 13 initiative the next year, if I remember correctly, 1979 or something.
Yeah, this flows from.
Just crazy,
Prop
and nobody
13,
understands
Prop
it.
4, this is actually Prop 4, which is the spending proceeds. So,
Having declared that nobody understands it, I'm happy to move that we approve resolution number 2015-09, establishing the appropriations limit applicable to the Coastside County Water District during the 15-16 fiscal year.
I'll second that. Thank you. Joanne, please.
Yes, Director Coverdale?
Aye.
Vice President Glassberg?
Aye.
Director Daniels? President Michelson?
Aye. Great, thank you.
Hold your
Okay.
nose and vote,
Designate a Coastside County Water District vote for a candidate. Any comments on that, or?
Yep, I vote for Bob.
Vote for Bob. Because it's easy to spell, or do you know him personally?
I know, I like this letter.
He's got a lot of water experience. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I like his folksy picture.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
well, okay, yeah, all right. No, he just, his letter I thought was nicely done, and I was like, okay.
or is it just you PhDs kind of like?
It could be that.
Well, I appreciated the fact that if he's going to represent us on a group that has all different kinds of special districts,
Yeah,
he has some water
I
background.
think that was what really appealed to me, was I wasn't so excited about
Well, I'm impressed with the fact he's been
The
married for 60
recreation-
years.
I missed 60 years. I said 35 years. No, the other candidates were Park and Recreation,
Right.
and then there's another water district, so.
What was there, another water district?
Yeah, Peter
Oh,
leaves
Peter.
with a water district, and Bob's with a community services district.
Peter didn't tell us much about himself.
No, Peter was kind of quiet on this subject.
Hello, my name is Dr. Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, do we need to vote? Does our vote really, does it count?
Oh, we need to-
You want to vote? Okay.
It's your option.
I'll nominate Bob.
Okay, I'll second Bob.
Bob.
It's got Bob.
Oh, it's out of control today, ladies and gentlemen.
Bob's a man.
Dr. Coverdell.
Enthusiastically.
Vice President Glassberg.
Aye.
Dr. Reynolds.
With a Bob. I mean an I.
Oh, that's gonna be hard to top. All right.
President Michelson.
Bob's our guy.
Thank you.
Okay, general manager's report. Oh, we don't get Joe's report.
Oh.
We'll find out about our leaks. Where's Joe?
He is somewhere between Akron, Ohio and here, I think, or maybe he's still in Akron, Ohio.
Do we want to call him for an on-the-road field report?
I don't think that'd be a good idea.
I would imagine
I'll try to answer any questions you might have about.
I would imagine he's
his
sampling several watering holes along the way.
report. He'll appreciate the weather when he gets back here, I'm sure.
That he probably will.
I'll just mention that I went on the June 24th, 25th Bosca SFPUC tour with Director Glassberg. It was great. This was designed as a VIP tour for Bosca board members, and I don't think enough Bosca board members signed up, so they offered the opportunity to us, and it was a great opportunity. And I know that now the only director who hasn't been, Steve Flint is the only director who has not been on a Hetch Hetchy tour. And I've strongly recommended that he take it in August. There's going to be another one in August. Mary will be going in August. Nobody should miss the chance to appreciate the awesome scope of the San Francisco system. I'm blown away every time. We had a chance to really take an in-depth tour of the Calaveras Dam project, which now is going to cost $720 million, something like that. It's a big number, but it's an amazing project. It's hard to believe there's that much water in that little creek, but I guess there is. And then we had Steve Ritchie for 2 days, which was great.
Oh, he's great.
It was really amazing that they
It
could
was
spare him
a
for 2
chance to
days.
talk about, a lot of, ask questions and talk about, just kind of get some insights into how, they run the system. We had a very nice stay at the cabins. We went out on the dam at night. We got a chance to go down inside the dam, which was really good. And as I mentioned, based on the presentation we had in Moccasin, I understand for the first time how the water bank works, and I got the slides, and at some point when we really need some stimulation, I'll make a presentation to the board on how the water bank works. It's truly an amazing system, and that was a great opportunity. We're very fortunate to be part of as expensive as it is, we're very fortunate to be part of this system. There's no way something like this could be reproduced in modern times.
Good, thank you. Does anyone have any questions on the monthly report? Pretending Joe is here. Leaks in Ogrenada? What's that, old pipe on Sevilla?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a service leak? Yeah, it was a hole in the pipe.
Yeah, one of them got a pretty high gallonage amount, and just wondering.
Front page of the newspaper.
Oh, was it?
That was
Oh,
That's-
that
That was the terrace one.
Yeah, the terrace leak. Yeah,
Oh.
we had a kind of a corroded section of pipe.
And we ended up replacing an entire section of pipe?
We replaced about 60 feet.
Good. Anyone have?
How long is that whole pipe that corroded? Because it wasn't wrapped, if I read correctly in the newspaper? Was that
It
accurate?
appears that those mains were installed without wrapping. That was one of those, there was a subdivision built in probably the 60s, 70s. What do you think, 70s? Yeah.
So we've got a whole lot more pipe in there that could do the same thing at some point.
We had a leak on Silver a week later, so,
Same pipe?
well.
Same type of pipe?
Yeah.
Same
Those are
arrow?
those are put in at the same time, I think. So that above, Silver and Terrace above Golden Gate, same time.
Soil chemistry is nasty stuff,
Yeah.
really hard to predict.
So we have generally used ductile iron as the gold standard of water pipe. But there are some places where it's less suitable than some alternatives. And for our Ventura and Washington projects, where it's close to the water and there's high groundwater, we're looking closely at using C900 pipe.
That's great. I love C900 pipe.
And we put some C900.
Pressure.
Is it?
We put some C900 in on Portola Avenue. We're having a real problem keeping
How long's it been
Wow.
in use?
ductile iron.
Does it have a history yet, or?
So the history is that we used to use as our cheap pipe was the asbestos cement pipe. And then it was replaced as the new cheap pipe was C900 as the kind of replacement for asbestos cement. And there's some issues with asbestos, with the C900, the plastic. When you tap it, if you tap it here and then tap it here, they'll split between the taps.
Wow.
So you want to be really careful that you don't put a series of taps down the pipe. In remote areas, it's not a problem. In urban areas, it's a huge problem, where there be multiple taps. So that's really bad. You can reduce that by not direct tapping it, by putting a saddle on it, drilling straight through it, and not putting the tapered wedge in. When you go to excavate it for repairs, C900, man.
Brittle?
Oh, it's the teeth of the
Break it easily,
backhoe.
yeah.
You're only allowed to have 10% wall thickness damage, and then the pipe has to be removed and replaced.
So just the slightest nick.
So the tooth of the bucket, when he finds it, may mean that piece of pipe has to be removed, just finding it. And whereas the ductile, holy cow, the guys will hit it and run right along it with the tooth and, oh, there's the pipe, no damage. And so I really agree very strongly with our general manager that the ductile is really the gold standard. The wrapping, though, is really key in any moisture areas or areas where you have aggressive problem soils. So East Bay mud tends to look at other problems along the Jack London Square where it gets salt water. The pipe is exposed to tidal influence, it's a little dicey. But the shock load of, when you have water hammer, C900, not so good.
What's the story, why do they sometimes use electrical signal? Do they do that with ductile iron?
So the deal is to find the pipe. The plastic pipe does not conduct the electric signal.
No, but I mean, in places where we've had leaks, is it in different type of metal pipes where they discovered that there were electrolysis problems, and so they were using an electrical signal to somehow offset that?
No, it's not a signal. What you can do is use active cathodic protection, where you put a DC current opposite to the corrosive current, opposite to it, but most utilities instead weld a sacrificial zinc anode to the pipe, and they put them, like Alameda County Water District puts them 12 inches under the road, and the zincs are a 10-pound football, and when they get to their failure stage, which depends on how actively corrosive it is, they puff up, and it puts a bump in the road, and the utility staff then know, oh, our zinc's worn out, and they dig it up and weld a new one on. But Alameda County gets about 5 to 10 years out of their zincs
Wow.
in corrosive areas.
And is that used alongside ductile iron or different type of pipe?
Steel is the must because the steel is such a thin wall, whereas ductile is a much thicker wall.
But
and-
it is still subject to electrolysis.
Yeah,
It
corrosion.
just has longer
Yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, gee, it's a good thing we got Dr. Reynolds here to
Sorry.
keep us in line. No, this is,
We know it's a trade-off, C900. The vulnerability is a real issue, but then so is we've got several hot spots now where we have relatively low-age ductile iron giving us real problems, so.
And you find the soil conditions, and then the right thing to do is to move to a C900. Burlingame had a section that's close to the BART, and the Burlingame is adamant that there's a grounding fault with the BART, and they couldn't keep pipe for more than about 14 months.
Wow.
Ductile pipe,
Wow.
inch-thick ductile pipe.
Wow.
And of course, BART, was, oh no, it's not us. And so they finally gave up and replaced it with C900. Palo Alto, which has some areas down by the bay that are extremely aggressive soils, has switched to HDPE. But there's a huge issue with that if you're not a certified welder, you can't touch it. And it's easy to get certified. I'm certified. But the problem is that if a contractor works on it, it becomes very critical to supervise how they're doing. So Palo Alto isn't allowing contractors to work on the HDPE pipe. Their own staff do it.
Wow.
So to me, that's a real limitation. And I think that our team is really making a good choice to stay between ductile with a wrap or the C900 in cases where the soil's too corrosive.
Well, maybe that's an added work function for the water utilities.
Yeah, we'll put that in the job description.
Welding me.
We just get a welding truck, right?
That's certified.
Yeah, and we have Dr. Reynolds can educate that.
No, thank you.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
This has been one of the more informative meetings. Thank you very much, and I think we're at the end here.
Well, don't tell Joe that it was
Water
good that he
resources.
wasn't here.
Oh.
Yeah, how about our water conservation?
Oh,
It's
I
just
put my glasses on, okay.
informational if anyone has questions. But I do have the artwork, the ad we're using to communicate which days to have your spray irrigation on for those 2 days during the week. And the artwork came from SFPUC Bosca. We just took their logos off and put ours. I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but
No, it looks good.
I thought it would confuse people to have Bosca's logo on it, so, yeah, so this is, right now, it's in the Half Moon Bay Review, the paper edition, and then also on the Half Moon Bay Review mobile web applications, platforms. Since I'm thinking most people now go online or use their phone to look at the newspaper, so I thought it was worth putting it there also.
What is nextdoor.com?
It's a social networking platform, I guess. It's kind of like a blog and it's set up for specific neighborhoods. So there's one for the Coastside, and so it's where you can have, you can announce events. If you're trying to sell something, you can sell it on there. It's like a bulletin board, electronic bulletin board, blog site. And Nextdoor.com specifically, if you're an agency, you have to apply to them to get permission to post things on the Nextdoor.com. And so it took a while for us to get there, but we finally got approved to be an agency. So another agency is the City of Half Moon Bay, the county, San Mateo County's on there, and a few others. I can't remember all of them, but so it's actually pretty effective. You're just trying to reach the your local neighborhoods. So I encourage you to sign up if you haven't signed up. No.
Oh, yeah, I refuse to. CIA driven.
While Kathleen's up here, you should have all received your consumer confidence report.
Yeah, I was.
Did you get that?
Yes, I did.
I wanted to commend Kathleen for what I thought was a really great, that's a very attractive document, a very professional-looking
So
document
did
that
you
she
do that?
has.
You did that in-house?
No, I use a consultant to produce that. And I'm waiting for the Spanish version that's at the printer. We should get it any day now. And then as soon as I get the Spanish version, then we can send our certification and transmittal letter to the state saying that it's been delivered. And
Yeah.
it is online, though. Both the Spanish and English is available online.
Because I'm a customer of another water district, and I didn't know, I got my mail in and looked that closely at it, but I think it was just a postcard with a web address where I could go
Oh,
look at
interesting.
the equivalent. Does that meet the legal requirements?
They have EPA, starting last year, they do have a new way to meet the requirement electronically.
Okay.
But at the time, we couldn't meet all the requirements that you have to do. So we have to be able to have email.
If that's a future option.
Yes, that's what we're hoping to go to, because it's just it's a huge expense, and there's
Okay.
a huge time issue getting it to a printer and then to the mail. So in the future, we would like to be able to deliver them electronically only. So it means getting everyone's email address.
Right, yeah. That's
And,
the next one.
and then anyone we don't have an email address, we would still have to mail it to them, or like a postcard with the address on. So hopefully we'll get there.
Pretty good
That would be
time.
much more effective and cost effective if we could do it that way.
And Director Reynolds has it right here at his fingertips, the legal requirement.
Well, I think there's still an advantage for the district in sending out a document that looks like that, because a lot.
Oh, no,
who's-
yeah, I
Who's
agree.
going to get the postcard and go on the website? But it was a really attractive document. It was very readable. It wasn't a tiny print. It's not, Kathleen's done a good job of selecting paper that people don't complain about. When we did a
Oh,
really,
yeah, you
when we
had
did
the
a really
recycled
nice
feel.
looking one and it was glossy, people complained that we're spending too much money on production. So I thought it was, I was really proud of it.
Well, and we did
I
have a
thought it
customer
was
here
great.
2 or 3 months ago whose wife did notice taste. And if you look at the mineral profiles between the two water treatment plants, there's the answer. You can taste the minerals we're getting at Denison as opposed to Hetchy water, which comes from that beautiful granite bowl that you guys have all visited. So, thank you. Thanks for a good job. Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone have any future wishes?
It's a world record.
Oh, I know.
I was gonna make comment, I cannot make the next meeting, so I have a prior commitment.
Yeah, and I probably won't either, so the rest of you guys
We better be on it, huh?
better be on
Carry
it.
on.
Okay. Well, that raises a question, so you're going to lead the charge, right?
Evidently.
Yeah,
That's great.
the gavel will be in good hands.
That'll be good.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for enduring. Thank you out there in TV land. Thanks. Till next time.
So, a quick thing to share with the group. On Saturday,